It was summer of 2001, a simpler time. Young Tube Daddy was doing the usual sweep through my little neighborhood to see who was out playing. I fully expected to see a bunch of kids outside, fighting with lightsabers, fighting with Beyblades, or fighting using the power of imagination. It was a very violent suburban neighborhood. We always wanted to be fighting each other because we didn't have real violence in our lives. To my surprise, nobody was outside on this beautiful summer day. I knocked on a friend's door. He greeted me and said that he didn't want to come outside because of a book he was really into. I immediately called him a dork, gave him a massive wedgie while his parents cheered me on, and then I went off to go find some non-dweeby friends. 6 wedgies later, I realized that the entire neighborhood got into Harry Potter at basically the same time. I went home to my parents and asked them if I could have a Harry Potter book so I could keep up with all my friends. They exchanged a nervous glance. "Well, Tube Daddy," they said, "we don't want you to read Harry Potter." I was not at all surprised by this response. Unfortunately, when I was a kid, my parents were a little on the religious side.
Sorry, pal, but until you're 18, your soul belongs to us.
So for goodness sakes, don't get the devil all over it.
You see, televangelists had been scaring the living daylights out of my parents for years.
The foundations of America are rotting.
Now, I do love my old Pep and Mama very much. They're very good people. But at this point, unfortunately, they were getting kind of suckered. Many of their leaders, who were supposed to be wise and intelligent, were kind of leading them astray and telling them that a lot of entertainment properties were straight up evil. So I kind of missed out on a lot as a kid, thanks to this wave of fear that gripped people that told them that Pokemon was evil, and Harry Potter was evil, and Yu-Gi-Oh was evil, and all kinds of anime and manga were evil. It sort of sucked. Fortunately for me, as my parents aged, they got exponentially wiser and kind of grew out of this phase. They let me have Harry Potter and Pokemon and really everything else that I didn't get to have just a few years later, which I am so thankful for, and I am so lucky because I know a lot of kids did not have that experience, and they just missed out on this stuff altogether until they moved out, and at that point, they probably weren't interested in going back and reading Harry Potter or going back and playing Pokemon games. They just missed the boat. And basically 2 decades later, my parents are cool as shit. We've been together to the wizarding world of Harry Potter a few times, and they get way into it and really love it. And it's so cool to see having that upbringing and then seeing them do that. It kind of warms my heart in a weird way. Recently, I began to wonder what exactly they thought was wrong with Harry Potter. So I searched around a little to get a sense of what fundamentalists were saying about those books and movies when I was a kid. And oh boy, did I find some stuff.
And had it been in the Old Testament, Harry Potter would have been put to death.
So there's one main reason that Harry Potter was banned for a lot of kids. A lot of people think magic is real. Yes, the kind in Harry Potter. They think it's actually real. Now, I hate to destroy anyone's childlike sense of wonder, but I've got some bad news. Magic isn't real. There, I said it. I also might have some bad news about the Easter Bunny for a certain subset of my listeners. You see this guy right here? He thinks he was an actual sorcerer for 16 years.
Well, Jan, I've spent probably about 16 years involved in sorcery and occultism and witchcraft.
So after a decade and a half of being a sorcerer, this guy decided to become a Mormon. After a few years of being a Mormon, he decided to become just a regular run-of-the-mill Christian. And now, in 2019, he's on YouTube and he said, "F*** all that."
Shalom, friends.
No, I'm really not trying to dump on this guy. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what kind of person believes that the magic in Harry Potter is real.
If he was a real live wizard, he would be getting his power from demons. It involves making bargains with devils or demons and saying, okay, if you do this for me, I'll do that for you. And that's how magicians do the things they do.
At first, I thought this was ridiculous, until I saw this video evidence of a magic trick done by Penn and Teller. Watch very carefully.
Circular gesture, and then out of that top hat comes a rod. You can touch it. That's our rabbit, Wossie. That's Wossie the rabbit right there. Wossie. Say hi to Wossie.
Did you see it? Penn Jillette had one red fingernail, indicating subservience to Satan. Okay, I just realized I should actually explain what the one red nail is. So it's part of this Polished Man campaign, which aims to increase awareness of violence against children and raise money for that sort of thing. So actually a good thing, nothing to do with Satan for anyone who is just randomly confused watching this video. Okay, back to our group of buzzkills. It's not just this one guy who's crazy, although, hang on. This is why he claims he lost his power.
All of a sudden, my entire life fell apart. I lost all my magical power. I lost my job. I became very ill. Everything in my life basically went down the drain just because this one woman was praying for me.
As absolutely bonkers as that is, keep in mind that the two people sitting with him completely agree with him and are not much better themselves.
Frankly, our opinion is that Harry Potter's Hogwarts School of Witchcraft is a correspondence course in witchcraft and Satanism. In fact, the London Times...
I think we have a real reason for concern.
This must be a sign of our deteriorating society.
No, in fact, the biggest sign of our deteriorating society is not children reading fiction. It is people like this, whose mentalities were plucked straight from the Dark Ages. If people like this got their way and were able to run the show, they would see people burning at the stake. People like J.K. Rowling, for instance. Although I swear to God, if she keeps retroactively changing Harry Potter characters after the fact via Twitter, I might join their calls. Hashtag burn J.K. Rowling. Just kidding, Joanne. Have my babies.
Let's talk just a little bit about dabbling.
Oh yeah, let's talk about dabbling.
You're definitely at least on a dabbling level.
Dabbling.
So I think it definitely is dabbling. Dabbling with things of the devil.
Dabbling. Dangerous dabbling. I dabbled with dabbling.
You know, as afraid as these folks are of dabbling, they appear to have done quite a bit of dabbling themselves.
You give Satan an inch and he's going to take all of you.
Some people choose to enjoy that which God says, I don't want you to have anything to do with. I detest this stuff. And still people choose to be involved with it. I kind of understand that, though, because there's pet sins in my life. We all have our pet sins. And we can justify those kinds of things pretty easily. We all have entertainment that needs help. We all get into questionable entertainment at times.
So besides those random and weird comments that guy made that I maliciously edited like that,
It's cute.
there were some other hot takes in this video.
The reason kids get into Potter is because they have unmet needs.
If you fantasize about magic, according to Jesus, it's the same as doing magic.
Do not do.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
It's powerful how society is using Potter as an inroads to indoctrinate kids in the ways of evil.
I really don't get how these guys can have such a rage boner for something as innocent as Harry Potter. I mean, honestly, why pick on something so popular and so loved? I mean, what's in it for them?
I want to say that both Bill Schneblin and Wendell Amstutz have written numerous books.
Oh.
I think they've each written probably half a dozen each, so I want to make you aware of those.
Oh, okay. In an unshocking twist that surprised literally no one, yes, these men are profiteering from this. This is their job. You'll find that pretty much everyone who grandstands like this has some sort of motive like this. They write books, they have a podcast, they've got something going on where you can eventually give them money. Big surprise. On an unrelated note, please donate to my Patreon. That's right, give me some of your money. You have some money, I'd like it to be my money. Please donate now. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know, did this kind of thing happen to you when you were a kid? Could you not have Harry Potter? Did you know kids that couldn't have Harry Potter? What did you think of them? What were their parents like? Please leave comments. I read every comment, even if I don't have time to respond to all of them. Just know I do read them. Subscribe if you haven't. Unsubscribe if you're already subscribed, then resubscribe so I can see the notification and then get a little bit of dopamine that I need so desperately. Please help me.
Subscribe to Tube Daddy. Best toothpaste and TV you can ever brush your mind with.